Hey kings and queens, welcome back to my channel. My name is Raina Rose and I'm back with another video because let's get into this. A lot of y'all ask me or make comments on my kids or me having Racer in a lot of videos that I don't have with the other kids, and they have school. So there's that. Someone said she needs to start saying where they are, so they're at school. But that's not what this video is about, so let's get into it. I want to do a story time with y'all about the time that me and my husband moved to Timbuktu for a better job opportunity, and I left his tail right there because of
racism.
But yes, me and my husband did move from Las Vegas, Nevada, a very diverse suburb, which actually happens to be the #2 safest big city suburb in America, and I absolutely loved it. I decided to move to Timbuktu, which is kind of like in the middle of nowhere, the country, for a better job opportunity for my husband. I made that sacrifice as a woman, knowing that there is literally, you can do the research yourself, 0% population of Black people in Acworth, Iowa. I moved there for my husband. As a wife, you know, sometimes you have to make sacrifices, so I did that. Once I got there, I was very open-minded, very optimistic. We bought a goat, we did country stuff. I learned to ride horses, four-wheeling. I was swimming in a lake, swimming in a little pond, little dirty pond. I was doing all the things that country girls should do. I bought me some boots, a cowgirl hat. I was very optimistic and really liking it, actually, until I had to put my kids in school. Well, it was definitely boring, but anyways, however, it was good. It was a nice, slow, quiet, super safe life, you know, and I feel like it could definitely make a kid well-rounded. Well, of course, as any kid, my kids were super excited for the first day of school, ready to go to school, and on the very first day of school, they came home crying, saying that a kid called them black and ugly like a can of beans, and you came out of your mother black and ugly. That threw me for a loop right there. For me, that was just super weird, because it's like, what first grader says stuff like that? What first grader even thinks to say anything racist, you know? And it's obvious that it's not that first grader. That's what they're hearing at home from their mother and father, right? So my first thought was, okay, let me go to the school and talk to the principal. When I was a kid, and you know, we used to get in any type of dispute, my mother would meet with that kid's mother and we would talk about it and we'd figure it out, and then one of us children would be punished, right? So I went to the school and I'm like, hey, actually with my husband, hey, we'd like to meet the parents of this person that said this to our child. No, we're not allowed to. We're not allowed to speak to that parent. The teacher's not allowed to give the name of the kid, even though my kid knew the name of the kid, but nothing. It was just like a talk between the principal and I, and the principal's obviously like, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, it won't happen again. It continued to happen. And it continued to get worse, N-words and everything else. So at that point, I made a conscious decision that I am not going to taint my kids racially or turn their hearts cold, because obviously they live in a household where they have Black and white people in their house. So when they go to school and they hear something like that, they're like, whoa, what is going on? And obviously I placed in my son's heads that you are a Black king, you are strong, you are beautiful, so that when they go out into the world and they hear those things, they're not so highly affected by them. But still, no kid should have to go through that. And then also it was like, anytime there was a dispute between my sons and another child, obviously my little brown sons were always in the wrong every single time. Everybody is saying that I shouldn't have moved, and even before the move, I made it known on Instagram that I was thinking about leaving my husband and doing long distance for a bit. And everybody was like, no sis, don't do that. He's gonna cheat, this and that. What? Why are you even with a person that you think is gonna cheat on you? If my husband is that horny, you know, it's a flight away. Why would you jeopardize your whole family cheating? For me personally, that mindset just screams insecurities and like an insecure relationship for me. But yeah, so I did leave. We made a conscious decision that I was not going to have my children's minds or hearts turned cold by what was going on. And it was more than, of course, people are like, well, racism is everywhere. Your kid's going to hear racism anyways. Of course. And of course, we teach our children how to be prepared for that. But it's a difference when it's here or there, you know, one nasty person. And when it's every single where you go, you're like targeted, or, you know, like I just wasn't here for it. Like I went into a doctor's appointment and I'm pulling my insurance out of my wallet. It was for my kids, pediatric doctor's appointment. I'm pulling my insurance out of my wallet and she's like, we need your Medicaid. I said, I have insurance. Hold on, I'm getting it. She's like, what? I said, I have insurance. 1 second. She's like, I know. What is your Medicaid number? I'm like, girl, I don't have Medicaid. I have Blue Cross. I have insurance. I have a husband. And not that there's ever a problem with having Medicaid, but it's just like, I don't believe that if I was the same white woman coming in there with a ring on my finger that you would be like, hey, where's your Medicaid? What type of Medicaid do you have? She literally asked me, what type of Medicaid do I have, instead of what type of insurance do I have? I actually got emotional about it just because everything that my family had been going through prior to that. And I'm asked to speak to the manager. And then of course they're all like, that is absolutely not okay. She's like, that is racially stereotyping and she should have never spoken like that. I agree with you, you know, that was not okay. So it was just a lot. It was a series of things. It wasn't one thing. Also, me and my husband went into a restaurant. I don't know where the kids were, but we had Racer, and everybody literally, when I walked, because we were seated in the back of the restaurant, I walked through the restaurant, everybody turned and was staring, blankly staring at us. And I'm like, okay. And then they literally hovered our baby. They came up and hovered our baby and was like, you know, looking and like, of course, people like on here on YouTube, so often you guys are like, you're not the first interracial family, mixed kids exist, etc. That's the same thing that I thought. That's what I thought before I actually, two things, before I moved to Iowa or that part of Iowa, and before I got on YouTube, I started seeing the real ugly and started seeing that racism still exists. And I was just flabbergasted, honestly, because I never knew that it would still exist in this day and age, but it very well does. As far as people encouraging me not to leave my husband for that time, me and my husband have something called trust, and trust is absolutely everything. We also have communication. Communication is everything. We also have each other's like locations set permanently on our phone, and it's not a trust thing of why we do that, but it's just that, you know, something could happen to him or something could happen to me and we need to know where each other are. So we had that, as well as we would stay on the phone with each other literally all day, like to the point that the phone is hot when it touches your face, because even if we're not saying a word to each other, we're just on the phone, on speaker, on FaceTime, going about our normal lives, not even talking to each other, but we're on the phone. We slept on the phone, everything. So it worked for us. If it does not work for you, then it don't work for you, but it definitely worked for us, and it was the best thing for our family. Dads or moms in the military. There's moms and dads that makes financial sacrifices or reasons to be apart from their family for a short period of time for the betterment of their family in the future. So that's the conscious decision that we made together. And it was hard, especially nearing the end. Like the first 6 months, I was like, okay, we're doing this. But nearing that last little 3 months, it was hard. It was very hard. There was a lot of factors that made it very difficult, but with communication and really putting each other first. And you don't have to be right next to each other to put each other first. There's things that you can do for one another to show expressions of love. Obviously, he came when he was off. He came and visited me throughout that 9 months. He did do that, and it worked for our family, and I wasn't worried. Even before he left, I had numerous women telling me how he was gonna cheat on me, how I was stupid if I left, and everything else, but I trust my husband wholeheartedly. I really do trust my husband, and if I did not, I would not be with my husband. And I believe that you should not be with a person that you do not trust, that if things hit the fan or you have to make a difficult decision for your family, you can't trust your husband or your partner out of your sight. To wrap it up, the reason that I left is because I was not going to have my children's minds mentally tainted and their self-esteem lower at such a young age. Now, if they were 15 or something and already established in who they were as people, then that would be different. But in this fundamental stage of their lives at first grade and kindergarten, and people are calling them black and ugly like a can of beans because you came out your mother black and ugly and you're dark and this and that. No. I just wasn't gonna do it. You do you, boo. But on the other hand, me, I'm gonna turn up. Like, period. Made us stronger, and I'm thankful for the experience of the country life. I feel like it will be something good for our family somewhere, like when we retire or something. But right now, I know certainly it's not for me. And I tried it and I gave it my all, and it just was not for me or my little brown sons. Now, my husband loved it because he's from there, but he fully did understand, and he too was not going to allow, you know, or cause that stress on our family. So that was a part of my life, and I share on here with you guys parts of my life. Let me know what you guys think, or if you guys ever had any similar experience. I would love to hear from you guys. Share and subscribe. Until next time, peace. You know what, y'all, I ended the video, but I'm back because I forgot to tell y'all. A lot of people ask, well, how did it end? I just caught myself looking at myself because somebody commented that I'll be looking at myself instead of the camera. So let me try to look at the camera because y'all feel like I'm talking to y'all more when I look at the camera. Okay, let me try to do that. I'm gonna start doing that. Okay, so initially we were supposed to stay for 12 months, and I was just gonna thug it out for that 12 months and make it work, but I could not do it. I couldn't thug it out. It was just too much, and it was getting to me. And on top of all of the negativity as far as racism, it was dark and gloomy, and I'm a person that loves sunshine. Like, I'm highly affected by the weather, so I needed to go back to the sun. So I left. My husband agreed for me to go. We did 9 months apart, and so now he's been back for 6 months. He came back, we bought a house, and this is where we are now. So the closest he was able to get back to our home, where we're from, or where we met, Las Vegas, Nevada, was Arizona. So that's why we moved to Arizona, and we purchased our first home together, and everything worked out beautifully, and our relationship today is stronger than it's ever been. And I feel like that is because of the experiences that we went through to grow together. So, all right, y'all, peace.